Yo guys, SG17 here, and in today's video we are taking on Pokemon Silver with only one Staryu. The rules of this run are the same as always. Only one Staryu can be used in battle, other Pokemon will be used for HMs, items aren't allowed to be used in battle but held items are allowed, and no game breaking glitches or exploits, etc. So looking at Staryu stats, we can see we have a decent speed and special attack. The defences aren't awful, but base 30 HP kind of negates them anyway. It's also in the slow level up group, so I can't see a point where we're massively over leveled other than down to Gen 2's awful level scaling. Moveset wise, we only start with Tackle and Harden, but we do get Water Gun at level 7. Recover and Swift may well be needed, and depending on how we do, Bubble Beam could be useful, but there's a chance we could have Surf by then. Staryu's coverage normally makes it an extremely useful Pokemon to use, and looking at the TMs we do have plenty of options, although this game's lacking of Ice Beam and Thunderbolts means we don't have the usual great reliable moves. Blizzard and Thunder will probably be required at some point, but again, 70 accuracy is not what we want to be relying on. Psychic's great also, but we only get that once we get to Kanto. Icy Wind will probably be a good stopgap before Blizzard, but looking at the rest, I can't see anything else too useful. I'm fairly confident this run is possible just down to the coverage, and we will almost certainly make it to Red, but how that battle goes, I'm not sure. Our low HP start pretty much means we need to be one-shotting, but let's get going. We start the game and call ourselves SG. We've replaced Totodile with Staryu, so our rival starts with Chikorita. We name Staryu Bowie because he's a Starman, and we head off on our quest to see Mr. Pokemon. On our way back, we bump into some angry red-haired kid who decides he wants to battle us. 8,000 tackles later, and we beat him. Thankfully, learning Water Gun at level 7. We arrive back at the lab, and the police have decided that a child is their most reliable person to help them in their investigation. We lie anyway and tell them Kev did it because he needs locking up. We get to Faulkner at level 11. We misclick and use Tackle first. Pidgey retaliates with the same move before Water Gun finishes it off. Pidgeot is out next, and 3 Water Guns give us the badge without breaking a sweat. Bugsy we get to at level 16. Metapod and Kakuna is to beat with a couple of Water Guns each, but Scythe comes in and quick attacks us, getting a crit for a large amount of damage. We hit Water Gun, but it does very little. Cypher starts hitting Fury Cut as we try to harden to limit the damage. A second Fury Cutter takes us to 6 HP as we hit Water Gun again before Quick Attack finishes us off. I think setting up hardens against Metapod will make this almost a certainty without any crits against us, so we shall go again. So we come straight back for revenge, and this time decide to set 4 hardens against Metapod because it can't do anything to us before putting it out of its misery with 2 Water Guns. Kakuna is next, and thankfully he goes for Harden instead of potentially poisoning us, and another 2 Water Guns get us to Cypher in almost perfect shape. We outspeed with Water Gun, and Cypher starts with Fury Cutter. We continue to spam our one good move, and Fury Cutter is doing a whopping 5 damage now. A third Water Gun takes Cypher into the Red Elf, with Fury Cutter now doing 11. Bugsy doesn't heal, and we hit again, and we have our second gym badge. This would have been a neat first time victory with even the slightest bit of planning, so I put this one on me rather than Staryu. We attempt to leave town before Kev the criminal interrupts us. We explain we took care of Team Rocket, and he seems upset about this and demands a battle. He starts with Ghastly and we hit Water Gun. Ghastly wastes a turn with Spite, so another Water Gun kills the ghost. Bayleaf is next, and we switch to using Tackle. But even with a crit, we do almost no damage. Bayleaf tries to poison us, but we avoid the attack, but after another weak Tackle, we're with Razor Leech for a large amount. Another Tackle does nothing, and finally we are finished off with another Razor Leaf. This is a big issue with not an awful lot of trainers to battle for quick experience. I sense an almighty grind session coming up. We go back into the cave and find the tame for Swift and teach it over Tackle. It won't make a massive difference, but every bit of damage will be vital at this point. We've also taught Recover instead of Rapid Spin since items in battle aren't allowed, and we need a way to heal back up. After walking all the way back to the last town, we decide the only way to grind will be to beat our rivals Ghastly time and time again. We go into the battle before healing to restore PP. We hit Ghastly with Water Gun and get a crit for an easy one shot. Bayleaf is next, and we start with Swift to see how much damage we do. We do around a third, and the sinking feeling of how far away from winning this battle hits hard. Bayleaf sets up Reflect, so now we really have no chance. We hit another Swift for a laughably low amount of damage, but Bayleaf misses Razorleaf. Another Swift tickles Bayleaf before Razorleaf misses again. We're still in this somehow. Swift again, and we still haven't got Bayleaf into red, but now Bayleaf goes for Poison Powder instead. Surely not. We finally get Bayleaf to red elf, but Poison damage and Razorleaf pretty much ruin us. However, the Reflect fades, and somehow we finish Bayleaf with another Swift. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. The fight isn't over yet though. Zubat is last. We start with Water Gun for over half, and Poison takes us to 15. Zubat thankfully goes for Bite and not Supersonic, and we survive on 11. Another Water Gun hits, and we have amazingly beaten the rival without even meaning to. Honestly, if this attempt wasn't just for levelling up, I would have restarted after seeing how little Swift did to Bayleaf, and would usually try to avoid requiring so much luck, but not a chance am I grinding when I don't need to win this game. We move on. Now to the infamous Whitney battle, and honestly, I'm worried about this one. The biggest saving grace for Staryu is that it's genderless, so attract isn't a factor, but knowing how little damage we deal, this could be a slog. But before worrying about the Miltank, we have a Clefairy to deal with. We start with Water Gun, and it looks like it's going to be a free KO. We get hit by Double Slap, and obviously it's 5 times. Another Water Gun takes Clefairy to red elf, and Double Slap only it's just 4 times now, so that's luckier. Instead of finishing it off, we decide to get some Ardens in preparation for Miltank. Clefairy now goes for Metronome and gets soft boiled. We Arden again, and Metronome this time becomes Sweet Kiss, meaning we're now confused. We use Recover and avoid confusion, getting ourselves back to full health. Double Slap now only hits twice for a grand total of 4 health. We get greedy and go for another Harden, again avoiding confusion, before Shadow Ball from Metronome does almost nothing due to it being a physical move. Thank God for Gen 4's physical special switch. We snap out of confusion now, and 2 Water Guns take us to Miltank in very good health. We start with Water Gun, and do what looks like just shy of a third's damage. Miltank starts with Rollout, but does very little to us. We hit Water Gun again, and Rollout misses before it can even start dealing proper damage. Miltank survives on a Sliver, and then goes for Milk Drink just to prolong the battle. This is where our damage output, or lack thereof, could be an issue. We hit Water Gun again, and Rollout starts up before it can get going, we end it with one more attack. We've beaten Whitney first time, and with ease. Genuinely surprised at how simple that ended up being, but setting up against Clefairy was worth the risk. You just have to Metronome is kind. 3 badges down, 13 to go. We make it take a Trick and immediately beat the Kimono Girl so we can get Surf, and this will change the run immensely for us. We get to Morty at level 30, Ghastly's first out, but 1 Surf sends it straight back. Haunter is next, but again, 1 Surf and it's gone. Gengar is third, and we outspeed with Surf, taking it to just above Red Elf. Gengar goes for Hypnosis and fails, so another Surf, and we're on to the last Haunter. Sadly for Morty, it can't put up a fight, and we have beaten the 4th gym without taking even a lick of damage. Pun intended. We move towards the Lake of Rage and find the TM Freedom Power. We teach it, and after some experimenting, we determine its type to be Bug. Not the best, but I guess it could be useful for some Psychic types later in the game. We'll see how that goes. Needing some extra levels, we go to the Burning Tower for the rival battle. Haunter is out first, and Surf is easy enough to one-shot. Magnemite next, but again Surf one-shots. Bayleaf is third, and this is where the Bug-type hidden power actually helps us more than I thought. We hit it and do more than half. Razorleaf hits us back, but only does around a quarter. A second hidden power finishes Bayleaf. Zubat's last. 1 more Surf. Easy peasy. After completing the Team Rocket base in Mahogany, we head in to face Price. Seal is first out, and we start with Surf because we lack any proper coverage at this point. We don't quite do half, and Seal hits back with an Icy Wind. We switch to Swift, and Seal switches to Headbutt, still doing very little damage to us. A second Swift, and Seal is down. Dugong is second, and we stick to Swift, but a crit doesn't even do half. Dugong retaliates with an headbutt of its own, taking us into yellow health. We decide to use Recover, taking us back to basically full health, and Dugong headbutts again. This time we go to Surf, and finish it with 2 hits before Pillow Swine comes in. Thankfully Surf is super effective and we win another badge with ease. We get TM16, which is Icy Wind, which we're going to teach straight away because that will be useful for the final gym, assuming we don't have Blizzard by then. After finding Jasmine at the top of the lighthouse, we serve over to Sea and Wood. Whilst there, we battle Chuck, and this turns into possibly the easiest mid-game gym battle of all time. Primeape is a one-shot with Surf before Poliwrath comes out. We stick with Surf for around a third of itself. Poliwrath uses Mind Reader, we stick with Surf, and Poliwrath still manages to miss Hypnosis, so a third Surf wins as a gym badge. Chuck really should spend more time training Pokemon instead of throwing massive boulders around. We pick up the secret potion, having totally not gone back to Lighthouse without it, and now we can fight Jasmine. And it turns out this battle is even easier than Chuck. 3 Surfs later, we have 7 gym badges. I'd like to have a more description on the battle, but it really was a pointless endeavour. Before we can go beat the final gym, we have to go destroy Team Rocket, who've taken over Goldenrod City. We head into the underground basement to find the director, but Kev follows us and, not wanting us to take the glory, decides to battle us. He starts with Golbat and we Icy Wind. Despite being super effective and us being 13 levels higher, we still don't one-shot. Golbat confuses us and we hit ourselves to the next turn before being hit with a wing attack. We hit a second Ice Wind to finish Golbat off, and Magnemite is next. We are still confused, but manage to hit Surf, and Magnemite is down. Third is Meganium, and again we beat Confusion in Hidden Power, but we don't even do half. And Meganium sets up Reflect, so that's even better. We switch to Icy Wind, and they survive on Sliv before Razor Leaf crits, and we survive on 3. A second Icy Wind ends it, and then Haunter comes in. We decide to use Recover whilst tanking 2 Shadow Balls. Surfland one-shots, Sneasel is last but 2 Hidden Powers later, and yet again we've beaten Kev. This is where Gen 2's lack of Thunderball and Ice Beam TMs really do start to cause us issues. So we make it to Claire, and before the battle we equip the Nevermelt Ice, knowing that Icy Wind needs all the help it can get. We actually lost first time at level 48 because Icy Wind left the Dragonairs on 1 HP, but I didn't record the footage properly because I'm a noob. So we grind and come back to level 50. We land Ice Wind on the first of 3 Dragonair, and now it's a one-shot. But that was a crit, so maybe it wasn't. Well, we'll find out in a second. We land it again and it is a one-shot. Unless it was an arrow, obviously. So we hit it again on the third and it is a one-shot. We've established that for a fact. Unless we got 2 eye rolls. But anyway. So we reached King with full HP. We miss with Thunder because obviously having 70 accuracy is equivalent to having 6 accuracy. King reached Smokescreen, so now we are really relying on luck. We do manage to land the second Thunder, but Claire is fully using the cheese strat now by using Smokescreen again. We put our faith in the Pokemon Gods and stick with Thunder. And our faith is rewarded. We land the third Thunder, winning the battle. 2 levels were the difference between losing the battle and winning it without taking any damage at all. Claire becomes a real Karen at this point though and demands to see our manager whilst she sends us on a quest for a Dragon Fang before we can have our badge. That done, we can move on to the Pokemon League. Or not. Just as we're about to leave Victory Road, Kev again decides he hasn't learnt his lesson.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
He leads with Sneasel and Hidden Power isn't strong enough to one-shot. Sneasel screeches us and then uses a quick attack, but a second Hidden Power finishes it off. Magneton next, but it still can't take Surf, so that's gone. Again in third, and we land Ice Wind doing about 2/3 damage. It is back with Razor Leaf, but we firm it, and a second Ice Wind finishes it off. Golbat is fourth, and we go for the safe attack of Icy Wind, but it survives and confuses. Fortunately, we land again, and Golbat is done. We snap out of confusion, and one serve is too much for Haunter to take. Last up is Kadabra, but Hidden Power is too strong, and once again, we send Kev packing. Now we can challenge the Elite Four. First up is Psychic Will, who obviously knew we were coming. He sends out Xatu first, but we hit with Thunder, and it's a knockout. Next up is Exeggutor, and this is the main reason we have kept Hidden Power. We land, and despite it being 4 times effective, it still doesn't KO. Luckily, it only used Reflect, so a second can take it down before it does any harm to us. Next is Jinx, and we land a crit on Surf, taking it straight out. Slowbro is in, and we miss with Thunder this time, allowing it to set up Amnesia. A second Thunder misses, and now Slowbro starts setting up Curse. A third Thunder in a row misses, and another Curse means Slowbro is now almost godlike. Thunder misses for a fourth time. Even at only 7% accuracy, this is a joke. Thankfully, Slowbro's become obsessed with its gains and continues to use Surf. At the fifth time of asking, Thunder does land, as Slowbro sets up another Curse. I think Will is broken or cursed. We somehow land a second Thunder in a row, and the strongest Slowbro that has ever existed goes down. A second Xatu is in, and surprise, surprise, we miss Thunder. Will finally decides to attack us, and Psychic does a decent chunk of damage. Thunder misses again, and at this point it's hard not to believe where the actual curse ones. Xatu lands Psychic in, and at this point we need to hit Thunder to even have a chance of winning this. Thankfully we do it, and it is enough to finish the battle. If you're wondering why I didn't also get Blizzard, this is all you need to see. Anyway, one down, 3 to go. Koga's had a promotion and is up next. Aridos is first, but we hit Surf and send it straight back to him. Venomoth is next, and for some reason we go for Icy Wind, not even doing half damage. Where it was Supersonic, and then obviously hit ourselves in confusion. This allows Venomoth to hit us with Toxic, and we might have thrown this one away before we've even started. We break out confusion, and Surf is enough to finish the Venomoth. Luckily, due to how Gen 2 works, we don't take toxic damage on turns we KO an opponent, but next is Fortress, and Koga's Master Plan can start. We go for Surf, but Koga uses Protect, and the Toxic stall is well and truly on. We land Surf this time, but it survives on Red Elf before setting up Spikes against somebody using only one Pokemon. That's the kind of skill that gets you promoted, apparently. Protect is back, and now Toxic is really taking a toll on us. Luckily, Koga doesn't even attempt the double Protect, so Surf finishes Fortress off, and again we avoid any more damage. Muck is next, but Surf is going to be a two-shot. We land, but Toxic takes us down to 37 HP, and one turn away from death. Muck weirdly uses Minimise instead of actually attacking, or maybe Koga just wants to be a troll and let our own bad luck end our challenge. Whatever the plan was, Surf hits, and Muck is down. It all comes down to Crobat. We know we need to KO, so our only hope is landing a Thunder. We press A, and somehow Koga has managed to steal defeat from the jaws of victory. Praise be the early gen and their bad game mechanics. On to Bruno. He starts with Hitmon top and must know we are low on PP because he starts with Detect, meaning Surf doesn't hit. We connect second time round, but it uses Dig, meaning we will miss another move. We decided Empower's the best to waste a PP on, and Dig hits for a measly 18 HP. Bruno used Detect again, but eventually Icy Wind hits and takes it out. Hitmonchan is second, and we go Surf before we hit with Thunder Punch. It doesn't do great damage to us, but it does get the paralysis. Another Thunder Punch lands before Icy Wind takes down the Hitmonchan. Hitmonlee next, it outspeeds with Double Kick, and we look to be in trouble. We're fully paralysed, and that trouble is now double. Hitmonlee lands a high jump kick, and shockingly, and somewhat embarrassingly, we have lost a battle to Bruno. Ouch. We're straight back, and we land Surf. Bruno starts on the offensive this time and goes for Dig. We waste a turn, and then finish it off with Icy Wind. We get a crit on Hitmonchan, so no Thunder Punch paralysis this time. Hitmonlee survives the Surf, but we still have 89 HP after double kick, and we finish it off. Machamp comes in and takes Surf of its own before retaliating a cross chop 4. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. He gets a crit, and again Bruno's beaten us. I seriously don't want to be wasting rare candies at this point, and especially just to beat Bruno. We decide instead to grind and come back at level 59. The Hitmon top fight is the same as before. We Surf, he digs, then we Ice Wind for the kill. Hitmonchan survives Surf and lands a Thunder Punch, but we avoid the paralysis and finish it off. Hitmonlee also survived this time and lands a high jump kick, taking us to 63 HP before going down himself. We don't get a lucky crit, so we need to survive this hit. Machamp does use cross chop and we survive! 3 HP! We go for Surf Ant. Oh, Bruno uses a max potion. That wouldn't normally be a problem, but we only have one Surf left. We risk Icy Wind and thankfully Machamp stays down. Onyx is last and Surf wins us the battle. Of all the trains I expected to be a struggle, Bruno definitely wasn't one of them. Anyway, wheel up and go meet an actual Karen. We start with Hidden Power and we don't even do half. Karen reveals herself to have no class and starts with Sand Attack. Obviously we miss Surf, and Karen compounds the scrub strat by landing Confuse Ray. We manage to land Surf to fight all odds, but Umbreon clings on and it's Feint Attack. That's where our luck ends. We hit ourselves twice in Confusion as Karen uses another Sand Attack before Feint Attack. We avoid the Confusion this time but miss Hidden Power. We miss 4 more moves in a row and Karen slowly and painfully whittles us down. I expected this Elite Four to be a joke. Silly me.
Silly you, silly him.
We go back into Victory Road and put more Instant Wild Pokemon to the sword before returning at level 63. This time we start with Surf and Karen again uses Sand Attack. No surprise us missing our next attack, but luckily Karen gets cocky and starts using proper moves with Feint Attack. Our next Surf hits and we're already further than last time. Vileplume is next and we go for Ice Wind, but again, miss. Luckily, Vileplume misses with Stun Spore, another of those game mechanics we all love. The second Icy Wind hits, but Vileplume just survives, but again, Gen 2 means we avoid another Stun Spore. We land Icy Wind, and Vileplume is done. Gengar is third, but we misclick and use Icy Wind. Luckily, Gengar decides to finish himself off with Curse, and he's gone. Murkrow is next, and we make a very brave, or very stupid decision to try Thunder. We miss first time, and Curse can start taking its effect on us. Murkrow its Feint Attack, and we can't miss many more attacks now. We stick with Thunder, and we're rewarded with it one-shotting Murkrow. Also meaning we don't take Curse damage. Houndoom is last, and Surf hits, meaning we have successfully bested a Karen. Lance awaits. So, the big one. The champion himself. The master of the Johto region. How can we even dream of doing this? Well, let's go. Gyarados is first up with Thunder for a one-shot. Dragonite is second and we one-shot with Icy Wind. Dragonite 2 is out and we one-shot with Icy Wind. Dragonite 3 and we one-shot with Icy Wind. Before next is Charizard and yeah, we one-shot with Surf. What about Aerodactyl? No, never mind. We one-shot with Surf. Well, that was a letdown. Honestly though, if Lance wasn't cheating with under-leveled Dragonites, I actually think this battle would have been a lot more difficult. Having 5 team members with 4 times weaknesses is just shocking team building. But that's Johto sorted. Let's go do Kanto. So, let's quickly burn through Kanto's gym leader, shall we? We arrive in Vermilion and go battle Lieutenant Surge. 5 Surfs later and we're the proud owner of a Thunder badge. Nice and simple. I know it's been said long before this video, but the level scaling in this game is, at best, strange. I know Kanto can't be made to seem massively more powerful, but that's just too easy. Next is Sabrina, and this isn't quite as simple as Surf doesn't quite finish Espeon off and it can get a Sand Attack off. The second Surf does land and Mr. Mime is next. This time Surf does miss, but Mr. Mime only sets up Barrier, which will have 0 influence in this battle. Surf hits a second time, but Mr. Mime survives and gets off a Psychic before we finish it off. Alakazam is last, but it's not quite as bulky, and this time Surf is a one-shot. Another easy badge. We head to Celadon, and Erika is third. This, in theory at least, should be the most difficult battle. However, Tangela comes in first, and Icy Wind is enough for a KO. Jumpluff is second, but that's going to be an even easier KO with Icy Wind. Victreebel is third but Psychic, which we have now by the way, sends that packing. Bellossom actually survives an Icy Wind but decides to set up Sunny Day. Erika heals, but 2 more Icy Winds, and it's a
flawless victory.
Janine is next, and honestly, all I could say is 5 Psychics and we win. Pokemon are in the mid-30s for levels. What were they thinking when they did this? Fuchsia isn't even close to the first place you would visit, but this is just pointless. Next. Misty's next, and after ruining her love life, we decide to ruin her career as well. We actually take some damage in this battle because of a few missed Thunders, but we hit Thunder on Golduck, Lapras and Starmie, and Surf on a Quagsire, and we have a 5th gym badge in Kanto. 6th is Brock, and we all knew this would be a joke. 5 Surf and it's all done. I do actually like Brock having both fossil Pokemon, but this was never going to be a challenge. Blaine is 7th, and honestly, he's even easier than Brock. 3 Surfs and we have 7 badges. Time for Blue. Hopefully, he can provide some competition. So finally we get to Blue, and he seems to have filled his gym with giant green Lego bricks. Anyway, Pidgeot is out first, so we go Thunder and miss. Pidgeot then goes for Mirror Move, but thankfully Thunder also misses. That could have been scary. Thunder its second time and Pidgeot is down. Next is Exeggutor meet with Ice Wind, but we don't get the one shot. Luckily, Blue uses Solar Beam, so we get a second free and finish it off before it can do anything. Alakazam is third, but again, one surf's enough to take that out. Gyarados next, Thunderlands, he's gone. Arcanine comes in and actually manages to get some damage off using Extreme Speed, but Surf ends that. Last is Rhydon, but again, another Surf, and that's all 8 badges done. Nice and simple, and nothing more than filler. Next stop is Red, and at least we know that will be a challenge. So before we make it to Red, we decide we need to get Blizzard to have a proper chance, and just have to risk the accuracy. We attempt it first before using the rare candies, just in case we can beat him. Pikachu is first, and potentially the scariest part. We outspeed, and Surf is actually a one-shot. That is promising. Venusaur is next, and Blizzard hits, but Venusaur survives. It takes in Sunlight though, so we can finish it off with Psychic. Espeon is third, and we again hit Surf, but it survives and does massive damage with Psychic. We finish it, but we require some luck from here. Snorlax is last, and this is the one we don't have any real plan for. We attempt Blizzard and hope to freeze, but we miss, and Body Slam finishes us. Wasn't really expecting anything from this attempt, but it looks a lot more promising than I did expect. We get to level 77, and the battle goes pretty much the same way. We realise we can use 2 Psychics against Venusaur instead of risking a Blizzard miss, but Espeon does massive damage with Psychic, and Snorlax just tanks all our hits. We need more levels or a lot of luck. We try again at level 80, but even with Espeon setting up Reflect instead of attacking, we still can't touch the Snorlax. I do think at this point Blizzard Freeze is the only chance we have, unless we can just grind towards 100, but nobody wants that. We come back at level 82 and have a new move. Having realised Blizzard is pretty much redundant, we've decided to teach Rain Dance instead. The only issue will be getting it set up, but we need all the damage we can. Some trial and error later, and we get our strategy down. We need to Rain Dance turn 1 against Pikachu, and hope that goes for Charm. There is a chance it can use Thunder, and because Rain Dance is set up, it bypasses the accuracy check, something we are also hoping to take advantage later of in this battle. Anyway, we get that outcome, and Pikachu is down. Venusaur is next, and we Psychic turn 1, and Venusaur sets up Sunny Day, which is perfect for us. That allows us to outspeed and reset up Rain Dance. Venusaur goes for Solar Beam, but because Sunny Day is no longer in effect, it doesn't do anything turn 1, so we can finish that with another Psychic and have an extra turn of Rain Dance for free. Espeon next, and this is a range with Surf. Luckily we get the range this time. Snorlax now. Surf is doing just under half, and Snorlax sets up Amnesia. A second Surf takes to around a third health before Body Slam hits, and crits for huge damage. Compounding the situation, the rain stops, meaning Surf's damage is definitely not going to be enough now, unless we crit, of course. No, we don't. And we lose. The plan is there, we just need either a touch of luck or Red to get none. I'll be back. Now, I'm sure some of you have been screaming to get the Mystic Water, and this was something I thought of earlier in the run, but not being a Gen 2 veteran, I wasn't exactly sure of where it was, and I generally like to use only my own knowledge for these runs. However, it seems stupid grinding or relying on luck when we have YouTube available to us. 38 seconds later, and we have our item. We go back, and despite Snorlax getting to red health, we still can't do enough. 1 crit is all we need. We decide to grant 2 more levels. Pikachu goes the same as always. Venusaur sets up Sunny Day, allowing us to get a free kill off again, even after misclicking and using Surf. Espeon now is a guaranteed 1-shot. Snorlax. Now, Surf does more than half, and Snorlax again uses Amnesia. Our second Surf takes it into the red, as Body Slam does a good amount. The rain stops, and we have to risk it. We get a third Surf, and despite the health bar seeming to stop on 1 HP, the Snorlax finally goes down. This must be it now. Blastoise comes in, and we set up Rain Dance to ensure Thunder doesn't miss. Blastoise, however, reads this and uses Surf, so we've just powered up his own move. It does a decent amount, but Thunder will be a 1-shot. No, not like this. Blastoise uses Surf. Yes! We survive on 10! A second Thunder KOs. Charizard is last, and surely Surf will be enough. We outspeed, we don't misclick, and despite the health bar taking what feels like an eternity to fall, we've beaten Red! 1 Staryu at level 84 has beaten the game. What a legend. So, as the credits roll, let's reflect on the run. Some parts became a lot trickier than I expected, and in hindsight, getting the Mystic Water and Rain Dance earlier could have made this much quicker. However, level 84 seems a more than reasonable level considering it's only 3 levels higher than Red's Pikachu. We did rely on some of the now defunct game mechanics in certain parts, but that's their fault, not ours. My biggest takeaway, however, is I never want to rely on Thunder again. As the saying goes, if it's not 100% accurate, it's 50% accurate. But that's the video, guys. Thanks for watching, and peace.